Hi, my friends. So I'm going to finish doing some more reading. Finish, I don't know. I'm going to do some more reading. Um, when Swedenborg was talking about going to the other side, I don't know if he's talking about the fourth dimension or, to the spirit world. And, let's see. The next world and the spirits there. I don't know what that means, the next world and the spirits there, but I can't imagine. I mean, it's just bad enough having one person spew evil at you, but to have thousands, how he was able to be protected and not affected and go into, flight and fight and flight mode is beyond me. But anyway, so he had these experiences, and all the years of experience have taught me a great deal about the nature of the world of spirits and about the conflict that those who are being reborn invariably suffer if they are to win the happiness of eternal life. No one, however, can learn enough from a general description to develop an unshakable belief in this information. So the details with the Lord's divine mercy must come in what follows. I just want, like every good person, we want to be able to do as much as we possibly can do here on earth before we go back home. Hopefully we've grown our spirit, so that we don't have to go through more crap. I don't know. Okay, well, we'll see what happens when it happens, I guess. So I'm just talking out loud. Genesis 1:31, and God saw all that he had done, and yes, it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning on the sixth day. This time it says very good, but previously he just said simply good. I love that he's picking all these words, because now the components of faith combine with those of love to make one entity. A marriage between spiritual and heavenly things has taken place. Spiritual is the adjective for anything having to do with religious knowledge. Heavenly applies to everything having to do with love for the Lord and of our neighbor. Spiritual things fall in the providence of our intellect, heavenly things in that of our will. The periods and stages of our regeneration, both the whole process and the individual cycle within us, divide into 6, and those 6 are called the days of creation. Step by step, we advance from being non-human to being somewhat human, though only a little, and then more and more, so up to the 6th day, when we become God's image. While the Lord is constantly fighting on our behalf against evil and falsity, through these battles, strengthens us in truth and goodness. The time of conflict is when the Lord is at work, for which reason the prophets call a regenerated person the work of God's fingers. Psalms 8:3 and 6. Isaiah 19:25, 29 and 23, 45 verse 11, chapter 60 verse 21, chapter 64 verse 8, Lamentations chapter 4 verse 2. He does not rest until love takes the lead, then the conflict ends. The work progressed so far that faith is united with love, it's called very good. So when faith is united with love, it's called very good. Since the Lord now makes us likeness of himself, at the end of the 6th day, evil spirits retreat, good ones take their place, we are led into heaven, or the paradise of heaven described in the next chapter. Content and mode in the word. So this then is the word's inner meaning, the true and genuine life in it, which does not reveal itself at all in the literal meaning, but the number of secret hidden within is so large that the volumes would fail to unfold all of them. I have offered just a few, of a type confirming that regeneration is the theme and that it progresses from outer to inner self. And that is what angels see in the word. They know nothing whatever of the literal contents or the most obvious meaning of even one word, still less the names of different lands, city, rivers, people that come up so frequently in the narrative and prophetic parts. All they picture are things those words and names symbolize. Adam in paradise, for instance, brings the earliest church to their minds, and not even the church itself, but its belief in the Lord. Noah brings up the picture of the church's remnant among its successors, lasting up to Abraham's time. Abram's time. Abraham never makes them think of a man who lived long ago, but of a saving faith which he represents, and so on. In sum, they see spiritual and heavenly realities of the word, completely separated from the words and names. Several people found themselves carried up to heaven's outermost entry hall while I was reading the word, and they spoke to me from there. They said they had no inkling of a single word or letter there, but saw only the things symbolized on the next deeper level of meaning. These things, according to their description, were so beautiful, followed in such a perfect sequence, and affected them so deeply they called it glory. The word has 4 major modes of writing. The mode of the people in the earliest church, their method of expressing themselves involved thought of the spiritual and heavenly things represented by the earthly mundane objects they mention. Not only did they express themselves in words and representing higher things, they also spun those words into a kind of narrative, thread to lend them greater life. This practice gave the earliest people the fullest pleasure possible. This earlier manner of writing is meant in Hannah's prophecy. Speak deeply, deeply. Let what is ancient come out of your mouth. 1 Samuel 2:3. David calls those representative signs enigmas from ancient times. Psalm 78, verse 2, 3, and 4. Moses received the present accounts of creation in the Garden of Eden, extending up to the time of Abram, from the descendants of the earliest church. 2. The narrative mode. This mode is used in the books of Moses from Abram's story on, and in Joshua, Judges, Samuels, and Kings. The historical events in these books are exactly what they appear to be in the literal sense, but as a whole and in detail, they still contain an entirely different meaning on the inner plane. What follows will, with the Lord's divine mercy, explains the meaning in order. The prophetic mode, the inspiration for this was the mode used by the earliest church, a manner of writing the authors revered, but the prophetic mode lacks the cohesiveness and semi-historical quality of the earliest church's mode. It's choppy and almost completely unintelligible, except on the inner level, which holds profound secrets, forming a well-connected chain of ideas that they deal with outer and inner beings, the many stages of the church, heaven itself, and at the very core, the Lord. David's psalm, this mode is midway between the prophetic mode and the people's usual way of speaking. The inner meaning speaks of the Lord under the character of David when he was king. And that's it for the sampler. Okay, so, and this was originally in a Latin publication, Arcana Coelestia. So yeah. Anyway, so that was the sample: the secrets of heaven, heaven and hell, New Jerusalem, the Last Judgment, and the White Horse, other planets, the Lord, or other books, sacred scriptures, life, faith, supplements, divine love and wisdom, divine providence, revelation unveiled, marriage and love, survey, brief exposition, teaching of the new church meant by the New Jerusalem in the book of Revelation, soul and body, true Christianity, which I've read. I've read personally. So anyway, so that's the Swedenborg sampler. We're all done with that. I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope you got something out of it. I know I did. And that's why, I've heard of Satanists talking about how the Bible is just a documentation. There's actually some satanic things in it. Well, I don't know that much about that, and I don't know why they would say something like that other than the fact that they're just evil, and they don't know any better. But I believe that the Lord has protected His word, and as Swedenborg said, that there's more hidden meanings than meets the eye. Then I do believe that, and it makes perfect sense to me. I hope it does to you as well. So anyway, that's what's going on. I did some more reading on Robert David Steele and his organization. And if you want to look him up, you just do www.robertdavidsteele.com, and you'll see some more things about him and his organization. And if you want to contribute and help out, there's a way to do that there too. Again, all we can do as far as our leaders are concerned is to keep praying, keep hoping that the Lord is working and doing His good in the angels, and we know He is. And if you think that there's only 8.5 thousand people who are actually running things of money and all that stuff, the numbers are with us, and God's angels, outnumber everybody, and so we just have to, one person at a time, keep, being open to the Lord and praying and asking for His direction. And and before you know it, the dominoes will just fall, and hopefully someday soon we will have a heaven on earth, because we definitely need a change in this world with everything that's going on. And the suffering is astronomical. I just, some of the most gross, macabre, evil, pure evil is being perpetrated on children, babies, fetuses, innocent people. That it's just sickening. It's spirit and mind and body, just sickening, and it needs to be stopped. So do what you can in your own backyard, and keep praying that these things will be eradicated from our earth. Okay, have a great weekend, you guys. Love you all. Bye-bye.